Yes, y'all. What's up? I'm Twitch, and welcome to a very, very special edition of Lab Rats Culture here at CLI Studios at the 2020 Dance Experience. Now, y'all, I have a guest today who has been making noise in the industry, various noise, in many different platforms when it comes to music, when it comes to dance, when it comes to film. He has definitely made his mark and helped to shape the culture, and I'm excited that he is here today so we can dive in a bit deeper. He is Grammy nominated. He has roasted many a dance floor. You're not trying to step to him in a battle if you're not prepared. It is the one and only Omarion. Thank you very much for coming through, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Nice to see you, Twitch.
Absolutely, man.
Yes, sir.
I kind of want to go a couple of different ways, man, but I think, with Lab Rats, we kind of center around the culture of dance and how that has kind of shaped your life. So let me start from the beginning, right? Because there's a lot to cover, but let me start from the beginning. How did you find dance?
Well, I actually had my first dance recital at 3. I'm still looking for that footage, okay? Because I need that legendary footage. I need that footage.
Yeah, man.
So and also my mom was a dance.
Okay.
So dance was passed down.
Okay.
The love of dance always, like you going with my mom to dance classes, not wanting to dance.
Right.
I found that dance for me was really a true expression, without words. So I would say that dance found me.
Okay.
Period.
Yeah. It's kind of how it often happens too. Is right. It's like I think, especially as children, we're so open and we're such. We're receptacle, we're vessels of what wants to speak through us.
Yes.
So I think also having that kind of support system too, where your mom is, it also sounds like she was very open to the arts coming through to do that, right?
Yes.
And I was listening to an interview that you just did with Mike Tyson. You were also a professional rollerblader, right? Like so real quick, like it also sounds like you were also exposed to a lot of things as you were coming up. Can you talk about how that has kind of shaped your artistry and how you go about making your art like that?
Yeah, I definitely have to shout out my Nana, because she has always exposed us to culture. I remember back in the day, they used to have this festival out here called the African Marketplace. And it would be right at Dorsey High, which is the high school that my mom went to. And actually, also, when I did my first national commercial, introduction into the entertainment business, it was for a Pops commercial, the cereal Pops, and we shot at Dorsey too, you know what I mean? So in LA, there's all these little, different, waves of culture. And my grandma always made sure that, we understood where we came from.
Absolutely.
And I think that, knowing who you are is just really a baseline and foundation, just like, learning, the beginning steps to how to be a B-boy. Foundation is something that you're always tethered to, and you can always kind of go back to. So for me, culture was very important, even not just, as an entertainer, because a lot of people know me from that, but actually, I was a dancer, and the first job that I got was now fast forward to Roro and Cliff. So a lot of the people that I was inspired by and was introduced to before the world got to see me, were people from other places, them being from St. Louis. And culture always has, a big importance to me for who you are, your self-expression, and also what you can ultimately fall back on.
Absolutely. And then I'd love for you to expand on that too, because so you're a LA native, like you're from it, and I think in the entertainment industry, at least with my experience, being a dancer, there's a lot of people that fly here to then get about. So So
Yeah.
finding somebody that's an LA native that is also in the entertainment industry, sometimes I'm like, yo, that's rare. At least in my experience, that's rare.
No, it is.
But
It's a few.
I'm really curious to know, because I think that sometimes, because the entertainment industry can be it can be very challenging, especially mentally, right?
Yes.
Especially you
Yes.
know, when you're kids and your mind is malleable,
Yeah.
you can be influenced a number of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
How did you or you know, times that you can remember, or even advice that you were given as you were coming up to help you stay grounded and make sure that you stayed yourself rather than a caricature of what
Right.
the industry needed you to be?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I would like to say it is tough. It is tough because, you know, things are moving so fast. And if you don't, like I said, you know, when I correlated the foundation, you know, your 6-step, your 3-step, you know, if you're a B-boy, it's really what you're able to fall back on. So for me and my experience, I would have to say, you know, I was tethered to really strong women. And, you know, interestingly, you know, women and that relationship became everything to me. You know, all of my multitude of my fans are women. You know, the whole conversation. You know, so I would say that you know, it was the relationship. You know, that really, you know, the relationship with my mom and my grandma and the women in my life that really you know, anchored me when I maybe it went too far. Because, you know, the thing about life and parenthood, you know, is that, you know, there's not a manual to it.
Right,
And everyone
absolutely.
has their own unique experience. And, you know, a lot of the time, especially, you know, coming up as what would be considered a child prodigy, starting so young,
Right.
you know, like you said, being malleable. And,
Right.
you know, it's really tough to, you know, identify, you know, with who you are. Is something that you have to grow into. It's something that you have to learn with trial and error, you know. So I would just encourage people to, you know, have a really strong bond and relationship with people that care about you and people that, you know, want to give you more so another perspective and another angle to, you know, the bigger scope of why you do what you do. And I think that that's a very important question that, you know, I was able to find at a young age, and that I was able to also have the freedom to cultivate. So your foundation, your support system, your management,
Right,
you know, the
right.
people that represent you, those are the keys that you need in order to progress and also feel comfortable enough to be open to, you know, lessons, you know, because we all have challenges. And, you know, I believe that lessons really expose us, you know, to
Absolutely.
what we may be a little weak to, you know.
Absolutely.
It gives us an opportunity to become stronger and have a better perspective. So I would say that, you know, my foundation again, you know, is the reason why I am and continue to still, you know, be an entertainer and know why I'm doing it.
Absolutely.
You know, rather than, you know, trying to make the next hot this or trying to do
Right.
the next hot that. And, you
Right,
know,
right,
a lot
right,
of people
right.
get caught up in what people are seeing. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's really good to have, you know, a relationship with yourself.
Absolutely.
Spend time with yourself so you know what you're doing.
Exactly. And you know, it's what, like, out of everything that you just said, too, like, two very important things that I really hope did not get lost in there, which speaks a lot to the time too, is speaking about foundation, because right now it's easier than not to kind of get a 15 seconds or a number
Right.
of 15 seconds for yourself.
Right.
And without the proper foundation, without the proper grounding, I think that it's slowly kind of becoming a problem that people are trying to morph themselves from the gift that they originally bring to the picture anyway, right? Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just like you said too, it's just like you have to allow yourself room to grow. It's like the lessons that kind of let us all know the things that we need to work on.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, I think, you know, that much of my later life that you realize that, like, you're already equipped with what you have to bring to the picture. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's just
Exactly.
like you
It's there.
kind of go on a path where people will be pulling at you and poking and prodding at you, trying to get you off of that. And if you're not careful, you'll veer off on a path that somebody else has for you rather than the path that you're supposed to be on.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
like,
it.
So you definitely hit it. You definitely hit it on the head there, man.
Yes, sir.
And,
yes, sir.
And let me switch gears just a little bit too, and bring it back to this training. You mentioned a couple of people that you learned from. You know, Ro and Cliff, and can you kind of continue to expand on that? So did you meet them before B2K?
Yeah.
Or you met them before B2K?
Yeah,
okay.
and what's so interesting is that Roro still then became a choreographer with me, like after that. Yeah. It was a real special thing. I used to go to this performing arts school called LAFA.
Okay.
And they were having a audition there, and the dance teacher, this was like a summer program, and we basically did, you know, all classes of dance, jazz, ballet, tap. We did all these different styles of dance, I mean, every day. And shout out to Michelle, you know, OWW. You dig? She was speaking with the lady that was one of the teachers. Her name is Cassie, and she was like, you know, you gotta come check out this, you know, this young guy. And you know, fast forward, I got the audition, and that day of the audition, I remember like it was yesterday, Cliff had the Nubian knots. Okay, he had the Nubian knots, you know, back in the day when it was cool. You feel me? When it was all good.
Yeah,
You feel
absolutely.
me?
Absolutely.
And Roro was there, and he and Ed Moore was there. So you know, I really pay a lot of homage and respect to those guys, because those was the first, you know, creative artists that I seen, you know, outside of maybe some street performers that really influenced me, particularly Cliff, you know, because we kind of have the same makeup, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And he moves very dynamic, you know what I mean? I haven't seen him lately. We supposed to get it in, but you know what I mean?
He's still
I already
getting it,
know.
right?
He's the truth. He's the truth. I love to see him dance. But early on, and then, you know, I was introduced to Swoop, and then, you know, because my mom, I'm gonna give you some fun facts real quick, because my mom used to be in the dance crew too.
Okay.
And one of the legendary dance crews from the West, you know, which is you know, hey man, I don't want to. V-Love, legendary, and I can't forget my man's name. Green Eyes. I forget his. I forget his name, but I grew up around dance all my whole life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, salute to those guys.
Absolutely, no, it's all good. And I wasn't gonna try to jump and help you and try to say the wrong name.
Like, is it?
It's not okay. No, all right. Yeah, man, it's just
a lot of OGs.
But you know what's great? What's great about that too is it just keeps expanding, my dude.
Right.
Like, so, you know, and to the point where, you know, I'm gonna jump into You Got Served, right?
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, I'm gonna come back around to the solo career, because we still got to get into touch. We got to get into we got to get, we got to. But I'm gonna bring it back to You Got Served, and I tell you why You Got Served was special to me, right? So You Got Served during the time that came out, I was still like very much a newbie. I still hadn't even entered yet, right? So I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. So dance movies hold a very special place in my heart. This was pre-YouTube. You feel me? So like I'm sure anytime you could get around the space where you could see dance, or if you could have it, you were there. That was it. That was that was practice. That was lessons.
Yeah.
So what I loved about that, and I love to hear kind of your experience with it, is I think sometimes dance movies will take a lead that can act but can't dance that well, right? And then you have your exceptions here and there, but then or you have it vice versa, like where you have somebody that can dance but that hadn't necessarily boned up on acting. Yeah. So when You Got Served, like, I'm seeing your character and I'm like, dang, because I feel like there were some moments in the movie that were actually real as far as battle goes, and not scripted. So what was that like, to be able to combine everything that you had been working on from a performance perspective, and bring that into a film, that literally turned into a cultural phenomenon.
Yo, it's so incredible, that experience, being able to even look back on it, because I had the opportunity to get introduced to a lot of other heads
Right.
that I never, like Crumbs and certain
course.
B-boys that were just amazing.
Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, the
absolutely.
abilities, like,
Yeah, unreal.
what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
that movie and that experience was what a lot of people see and felt was real dance energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When we
Yeah.
all gather together and we have a good time and we expressing.
Yeah.
It was really that,
Yeah.
on set. And a lot of those battles weren't planned. We a lot of times got carried away.
Yeah.
Like the battle, that little moment with me and Columbus, that was a real moment. We never shot that. That was one shot.
Right.
Yeah, and
right.
that was like, okay, we got it.
Was that the one in the beginning? That was the intro scene.
Yeah. I backflipped
You
off.
backflipped off
Right.
of it. Yes. That moment was real, right?
That was a real moment.
You could tell that was real. I'm like, yo, that didn't look planned at all. Like, that's like, yeah.
Yeah, man. I think that just like you highlighted, that there is a need and a conversation, for creativity and authenticity, because, I think it is important to, continue to make these movies and not just be a profitable thing. It's so many, I know so many dancers that have amazing stories.
Yes.
And I feel that, culturally, these stories need to be told.
Absolutely.
So I hope now that we have the break-ins and you got served, that now we're able to kind of produce some more performance films.
Absolutely.
I definitely want to do that myself, and I hope that other people are inspired to do that, because dance is an act of joy. Even if you can't dance, you should dance every day.
Of course.
It's really important.
Absolutely. So. And dance is just honestly, just like they say, music is the universal language, right? Like,
right.
I still feel that way about dance.
Period.
Too, because like, your body dances when at some point in time. I don't care. And I think sometimes we jump in our own way and tell ourselves that we can't dance. It's kind of how we were talking about the like the Cypher conversation before cameras came on. It's
right.
It's what you have to bring to the conversation.
Yeah.
Of dance, like what the music is telling you to what you're responding to it, right?
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the science.
And man, I'm telling you, man,
this
is incredible. It is, man. But yo, so let me ask you this then, before we move on, your perspective, your outlook on artists today, on how you see artists coming up today. Obviously, the music industry has changed.
Yeah.
I think people are able to put themselves on a lot easier than they were before, from a performance standpoint, though. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about the various live performances that you did with B2K,
mm-hmm.
that you did as a solo artist.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about the performance where you specially crafted, you know what I mean? You drop down from the helicopter situation, you know what I'm saying? That type situation. How do you feel the industry is now with on a performance level?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it is what it has always been, which is there are special particular artists that, like Missy Elliott and, Janet Jackson, performers, I kind of look at things, as kind of a transformation bot. Everything has to stick for a moment and then it has to change. And I feel like, everything kind of, when it comes back though, it comes back more, more special and more strong. And I feel like because of all of the things that are going on in society, the aperture for performance and what that language is, in production and in value, I think it continues to, shift. And I think that there is a moment, coming soon where, and don't get me wrong, there are a lot of great performers that, have, big productions and, do a great job, but there's a difference, between, an actual performer, that's giving people that energy. And I think, for some reason, it just has its peaks and its valleys,
Absolutely.
But I think we coming up on a peak though.
You think so?
I think definitely. I think people want to see more. I think that the public will. I hope so. You know that
Yeah.
they will demand. You know, just for a closer look, for
Yeah.
a better understanding and appreciation for creative artists. You know,
Absolutely.
because we literally give our all. You know,
100%. Yeah.
so you know, I mean, if you're really doing it.
Of course,
So
absolutely. And see, and when you do that though, that's when you are able to contribute
yeah,
pieces of art that stand the test of time.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
There's I'm sure we can go down a list of videos that we could pull up from, you know, the 80s, 90s,
That's true.
2000s of our favorite live performances, and the
Yep.
common denominator in that is that like the people involved gave their everything and
Okay.
also paid attention to details
Yep.
and wanted to give a full show, even
Yeah.
if it was like a 3-minute, 4-minute performance. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think the reason I asked you that is because with the way that things have shifted now, everything has become so much quicker. You know,
Yeah.
everything's a lot more instant.
Microwave.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you take that same philosophy
Mm-hmm.
and apply it to an album, a performance, or
Yeah.
whatever, we don't get that same bang that
That's
we
true.
used to. You know
That's
what
true.
I mean? So I just wondered from your outlook
Yeah.
how that's looking from where you stand. You
Yeah,
see
I
what I'm
mean, I
saying?
remember when Napster came, and I remember
Yes.
when the conversation between producers and I mean, it's shifted so much, even since I started, and I think that it will continue to do that, and I think that I would like for people to just become a little bit more responsible what they ingest and why they feel connected to it. And we understand via social media that you can have your own fan base. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So
Yes.
I think that now, because the industry is shifting, we just have to find that new place again. What is that new space again? All of the award shows, they're shifting. Everything is shifting.
Right,
So
right.
I'm actually excited because wherever that platform is, we're gonna be dancing on top of
Absolutely.
it.
Of course.
So
Of course. Yeah.
it's
Absolutely.
like it comes and it goes, but I think it has to transform. It has to continue to be something different for creative artists. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
absolutely.
Like, that give their all. You know what I'm saying?
course.
Some people that's just willing to, put it all out there on the stage.
Absolutely.
A lot of energy has been put towards that. And it's been so many shining stars that we've been able to absorb and witness. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I think that it will continue on in a healthier way.
Absolutely.
That's what I really truly believe.
And then, it's kind of a perfect segue because we're kind of talking about the future now, and moving right along into that. You're a father.
Yes.
I'm a father, and
Yes, sir.
And
Congrats, man.
I think one of our kids are the same age. You have a 4-year-old, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you got a
Yeah,
4-year-old,
yeah.
and then you have a son as well.
Yep, it's his birthday today, actually.
Oh man!
Yeah,
happy
shout out
birthday.
young
Yo,
man.
yo,
He's turning
thank,
6.
Yo, thank you for coming through today on the birthday. That's
Oh,
dope,
man, it's
man.
all
Yeah.
good, man.
Man, that's what's up. So with that being said, man, what are some things that, outside of entertainment, obviously,
Yeah.
what are some virtues and just we talked about lessons of foundation, obviously, and then
Yeah.
with the kids being that age, they of course they learn from what we say, but they also learn from what we do more than anything,
Okay,
right?
they watch him.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Right. So what are some things that you feel that you're passing on to your kids, your legacy, about not performance,
Yeah.
but like making sure that that we, as we enter into the future,
Right.
we have a good head on our shoulders with it.
I think that it's important to, at least for me, to be able to unwind, certain situations and really educate, the kids on why. I feel like the rhetoric in the past might have been because I'm your parent, do what I say.
Absolutely.
And I think that the 80s babies, our approach is a little bit different.
Right.
Our approach is more like, I'm gonna treat you like, I'm gonna treat you like I would treat anyone else.
Of course.
With fairness and with respect,
Right.
respect, as it pertains to being the parent.
Of
You know what I
course.
mean?
Of course.
Of course, you can override, but you really want to educate your children. And you know, I definitely pass that on to them, you know, to take a closer look, you know, clean up after yourself,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
just the decencies and the consideration and thoughtfulness and respect of others. Those are the principles and rules I live by. And I think that as long as, you know, that continues to be a thing and as also as it pertains to other people, because, you know, having kids, you know, and you know, my son's over here with these, you know, with these kids,
Totally.
you know, they have to be able to identify, you know, with you know, the importance of your teachings
100%.
and
Yeah.
and why you know, decided to have a kid and they be your
Absolutely. Yeah.
kids,
Of
you know what I'm
course. Of
saying? Like,
course.
hey, I'm your
Absolutely.
dad, so you
Yeah.
got to listen
Exactly.
to me.
Right. Right. 100%.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I just try to instill positivity and love
Yeah.
and respect and consideration for all things
Of
for
course,
my kids.
and I think you know that's honestly it's incredibly important. I mean, it's always been important as a parent, but I think just with the way that the social climate is right
Right.
now, and certain things that we have to look out for, not only as parents but Black parents.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, there's just like you said, the world is shifting, and that is good.
Yep.
But yeah, the lessons that we're passing on to our kids
Yep.
right now, I think, are some of the utmost important times,
Very,
right?
very
Because the world
important.
is shifting, but we have to help it go in the right way with that.
Exactly.
That's good. So
Yeah.
with that, man, you're coming back to. I can't. I'm sorry. It feels weird to say coming back to the music scene, because I don't know if you've left like that. Like
Never.
it's been a
Never.
while.
Just
I
new
think the
levels.
last I think the
Yep.
last um uh, body of work was like what, the Care Package, I think, something
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah, it
right?
was
Like
just a few songs.
right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. So what brought O back to music right now? What
Well,
brought you
you know,
back?
music has always been the foundation and the true magic, you know, of extending myself to all of these wonderful places that I've been able to, you know, be invited and extend to. You know, traveling has been such a joy and also, you know, a challenge as well. You know, because you know, you go to so many different places and you know they might not know the language, you know, but they know the
But they know the
song.
song, yeah, for
And
sure. Yeah.
when you see how powerful this is, you understand that you know you can't just be in one place.
Right.
You know, you can't just live in one place. You can't just drop songs in one place. I
Right.
mean, you know, we see, like you said, so many artists now they could put themselves on. You know, the
Right.
game has changed.
Right.
So, you know, music is something that I will always do. I always, you know, talk about how people sometimes they like to correlate the music business to sports, and it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Because you know it is something that have so many different dimensions, you know, that you can continue on for the rest of your life, you know, not just in the physical, you know, aspect of maybe performing, but you know, writing, you know,
Right.
producing,
Right.
you know, directing,
Right.
you know, developing artists, you know, classes, you know, there's so many aspects to being a great. You know, when you want to be a great, you know, your job is never done.
Absolutely.
So you know, to get back to the music, you know, music is a special thing for me, and it's something that I always will do, you know, and I'll always be there.
Of
You feel
course.
me?
Of course.
With some new slaps,
Right. Right.
okay, to
Of
dance
course.
to. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, I have a video we're actually dropping today. Can You Hear Me? Featuring T-Pain. You know, shout out to my bro over at Orion Island. You know, we at the Oasis, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's my hub, the Oasis. You're
Okay.
definitely invited to come
I'd
to
love
the
to come through.
Oasis,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
And, you know, sip some pina colada and just, you know,
Done.
continue to converse.
I can't sing a lick, but I'll come. You don't want me on any track, but yeah.
But you know, this space and you know, this song, you know, something really unique that I did with the video because you know COVID-19 happened, so you know we were pretty much greenlit to shoot the video to Can You Hear Me, and you know I'm so excited that you know I have. You know, been able to get to this place again as a creative artist, you know, with you know, dancers. And, you know, we were just out on the Millennium Tour. Myself, Bow Wow, you know, all of the, you know, millennials,
Yeah,
you
of
know what I'm
course.
saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the show, the production, everything is it's so dope. You know what I mean? And we're going to be going out, sidebar, we're going to be going back out in March. So I
Nice.
hope everybody
Okay,
comes out to
okay.
that. But the video. So COVID-19 got shut down. The video got shut down. And then, this creative artist named Franco the Artist, he and a lot of the dance community, they did their own version of Can You Hear Me?
Right.
The only version that I had, I was actually from the rehearsal.
The rehearsals.
Yeah, the rehearsals,
okay.
which was for the Millennium Tour.
Yeah.
And man, first, another sidebar, I have to shout out, my teachers and my senseis. I brought together, some heads.
What Pete and Link and that? Yeah,
Pete,
bro.
Link,
My Lord.
Ejo, shout out to the
Wow.
gods, you know what I'm saying?
Man. Yeah.
But I was so excited to be able to show, all that we've been working on other than everybody coming to experience the live. So after COVID-19 got shut down, and I'm seeing this video and I'm like looking at this video from Franco the Artist and the dance community and I'm like, oh my God, these are the same ideas that I had in my head.
Right.
And actually some of the same locations look the same as well.
Right.
So I acquired that video. I purchased that video from him, and I'm making it the official video.
That's
now
dope.
we've seen, artists, hire choreographers just to do a dance piece to their, but the way that this kind of, the universe positioned this, I want to shout out all of the creative artists that decided to lend their talents to this piece. So when we drop it today, it will actually be a collaboration between myself and the dance community. You know what I mean? Which they created. I just add some stuff to it. So
Absolutely.
I think that this is a bigger conversation with creative artists. To highlight the importance of and the support of the dancer. You know what I mean? The dancer is given almost 85%, if you're not a performer like myself, you know what I'm saying? But if you just standing there, the dancers are, really filling the room up, filling the room with the energy. So I wanted to do something special. And another side note, me and Franco, when I realized who it was, we actually sessioned a few times at this club that I've been going to for so many years. Shout out to Danielle Polanco's because she would invite me, to she would invite me to the Funk Box.
Funk Box, Sundays.
So I mean, I would be going there and she'd be like, yo, you need to take class, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do it. I'm like, okay. And it has really given me so much, just joy, to be able to go somewhere and, not always have to speak to everybody, but dance and get a head nod or some love. The dance community is one of the dopest communities, period, bottom line, point blank, because, we're coming to express and share.
100%.
And that's what I really, really love about this idea and dropping the Can You Hear Me video today. So
I love that. And then we're doing a global watch party for it tonight, right? Is that 6 p.m. tonight?
Yeah.
And is that, just to be clear, is that 6 p.m. Pacific Standard?
Yeah.
Is that the Pacific Standard? Okay,
Pacific
cool.
Standard,
Across all platforms.
Yep, all platforms. So, tap in one time with your boy, and can you hear me?
Hey, and I just gotta say too, man, it's this time goes by so fast. But I just gotta say, man, just through this conversation, bro, I am proud of your growth. I am proud of your accomplishments, your journey, the ups, the downs, and how you've also held your head even from an outside perspective. You see what I'm saying?
Thank you,
Through everything. My dude, and then also, the way that you're giving it up to the dance community right now, that is a very important conversation that's happening as we speak about giving credit where credit is due and stuff like that, and it's movements like that help push the culture forward and shape it in a much better direction for all of us moving forward. So, I appreciate you. I know the dance community appreciates you, and y'all, this has been an awesome conversation. I'd love to keep it going. I didn't even get to talk about Owen Tut. I didn't even get to talk. I said I was gonna talk about it. I didn't talk about it. That we'll save that for next time.
Yes, sir.
But just know it was dope. You already know.
Thank you, brother. Thank you,
Yo, Everybody, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We are actually about to take this conversation from a verbal situation to the physical on the floor.
Let's go.
We have, we got a nasty little Cypher situation, so
Hey,
stay
let's
tuned
go.
for that. It's myself, it's O, it's Fiction, it's Robozilla, it's Breezely, and am I forgetting anybody? Nah? I'm not forgetting anybody. That's it.
Let's go.
You guys, let's do it. Hey, thank y'all so much. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you, man. Yes,
Wow.
sir. Pleasure.
Thank y'all.